What's good, family? Shurichi here, Black Eyes TV. We're going live a little bit early in 5 minutes. I know it's later because I'm talking to a couple of my American brothers today. Um, hopefully, my brother Tahaka Bay will be joining me shortly because I just want to get a perspective of what's going on the ground in the USA. What's good, family? Shurichi here, Black Eyes TV. Yeah, that's all. I know everybody can hear me fine. I don't know that's all come true. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking to my brother about this black militia movement that's going on in the US, as well as some other bits and bobs. But as always, it's an open panel show today. The link is there in the description under the video, so anybody can jump on, voice their opinions, say what they need to say. I'll post the link now in the chat. There we go. Bam. That's there. So again, anyone can jump on, voice your opinion, talk about what we're talking about. But I am waiting for my brother Tahaka Bay because he's done a few shows. Tahaka Bay is a brother from Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken. That's the city he's from. He's got a YouTube channel called Moorish TV where he does his thing. But he's been doing a lot of shows on this black militia aspect and Grandmaster Jay and who he is and what that's about. So I wanted him to come on today and kind of have a little conversation with me about that and let me know what he thinks about that. But as always, as I said, it's an open panel show, so anybody can jump on and come voice your opinion. Give us what you think. Big up to everybody I saw on the weekend, on bank holiday weekend, just gone. Big up to Forever Family, who I saw today out on the roads in South London, doing two bits, handing out some school supplies and doing some works in the community. You get me? Shout out to Carla, chilling with her. Silva, big up to her. Big up to Ackland Village. As always, the live spot. Went down there, saw the drum circle. That was nice. You get me? Saw the family. Big up to Jedi. Saw him on my travels as well over the weekend. But yeah, today we are talking about what's going on in the USA, what's going on in activism in general. You know, I'm seeing there was a few protests over this weekend. And not a lot was really going on. There was the anti-vaccine, which had a whole load of white people. You know, I don't class that as a black protest per se. There was all sorts of people down there talking. But that was on the Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And for those who saw, David Icke was down there, a few people. I didn't go down there myself, but I did see there was thousands of people in Trafalgar Square. Then on the next day, it was the Tribe, which is Sister Chazelle. She did an event down at Trafalgar Square. I didn't actually get to see her. I came a bit late in the day, but they did a quick event down there, profiling a few different people, performing and doing a few bits. And then I was in Hyde Park, where I saw this million people march, which for me, I don't know what the fuck that is. Let's just keep it real, because I saw a lot of chichi man, a lot of funny guys. Again, it's another one of those movements that for me don't carry no weight. I don't know what's the point of it. I don't know where it came from. But, you know, I saw a few familiar faces take the platform when I got there and speak, but I don't know anything about that movement and I'm not really feeling it myself. But, you know, this is where it is. So again, I don't know what's really going on in England. I don't really see anything moving accordingly. I know there's a Black Pound Day event in Birmingham coming up. So that should be decent. I'm not sure of the date of that. but that should be all right. But again, if you've got knowledge of any events, any protests, anything of worth that you think is of worth that's happening in London or in England, please, I'd like to know. Because today I'm going to be talking to Americans about what's going on over there. There are militia, lots going on in America that we're not seeing other than on social media. People still getting shot, all sorts is going on. So again, this is the running theme that I want to talk about, what's been happening on the ground, what people think of the armed militia that's going on in America, what people think of that Grandmaster Jay. Because again, I want to get my brother Tahaka Bay on, because he's done shows about him. He's interviewed people from his inner circle, from the militia, from what I understand. So that's why I'm interested to hear his opinion. But for anybody who's from the UK, if you've got an opinion of any of the marches that you've seen happening, feel free, jump on. Let me hear what you got to say. Let me hear your opinion. As always, as you come in, people, hit the like button, share it out. As always, it's an open panel show, so anybody can come on, voice their opinion. If you think I'm being harsh about the million people protest or it being appropriated by, as I said, people that aren't necessarily for us in the end, let me know. If you think all the protests are doing a good job and you've got something else to say on it, come on and voice your opinion. I'm interested to hear, because for me, UK's moving differently. The racism angle is still kind of there, but it's kind of gone away, and now it's more about the COVID lockdown and those kinds of issues. In America, it's full tilt. It's still going on hardcore. From what I see, people are still getting shot. Stuff's happening. So again, I'm interested to know from any of my American people then what's going on in America, how you're seeing it on the ground. As I said, my brother is from Baltimore. People know George Macon, who comes on. He's from Philly. But if you're from another USA city and you want to voice your opinion and tell me what's going on in your city, let me know. I'm interested to know, definitely. Big up to you, Spice. Big up to anyone else who's coming in. If you got a question or you got a comment, feel free, write it. I'll highlight it, show it, get me. Make the people aware of what's good. As I said, open panel show, what's really good. And as well, in the next week, maybe, I think I'm going to do a show about relationships and unaccountability in relationships. I think that needs to be talked about. We've been doing a lot of politics. Last week was about voting. This week is about militia and shit on the ground. But I think we need to get back to some simple conversations about basic relationships and accountabilities. So again, let me know if you're down with that. And again, if you have a subject that you want to hear me talk about, or you want to hear talked about in general on Black Eyes TV on this True Talk Tuesday that we do, let me know. I'm quite happy to take suggestions and hear what people's got to say. Let's try and hit up my brother and see where he's at. As I said, anybody can jump on. The link is there. Feel free, come in, chat to me. Let me hear your opinion on what's been good. What do you think of Carnival not running? You get me? Do you think it should have been running? What's the play? Come chat to me. Hold on, I'm just contacting someone. Well, you want to vote in part 2, Spice? It can be talked about. I'm easy. Again, I don't have a problem. Hold on, who's this? I see my brother here. Mr. Bay. Unmute your mic when you're ready, brother. You're muted right now. You're muted. But yeah, Spice, I was planning on doing a vote in part 2. Maybe by the time the election is done, I will definitely ask my brother now what he thinks of all this Trump foolishness. Trump, Biden, like it's some sort of choice, because that's a joke business in itself. You're muted, brother. You're muted. So
Can you hear me now?
That's all. I got you. I'm
You
hearing
got
you
me?
loud. I got you loud and clear, brother. How you
All
doing?
right. Where everybody at?
People's coming in. People coming. Me and you is just starting it off. I just set it off and just been laying out the premise of what we're going to talk about. Get me? I've been letting the people know who you are, but you introduce yourself. Tell the people about your channel. I was letting them know about the shows you've been doing about Master J. So, lay down a little introduction. We'll just continue the conversation, and then people will start to come in.
Oh, you live now?
Yeah, man, we live right now, bro.
All right, hold up.
That's all. That's what I'm saying. I came straight in and I started it, and then I just laid out the premise and let people coming in. So it's all good.
Let me get myself together real quick.
Yeah, man, get yourself together. Get yourself ready. You get me? As I said, the people know why you're coming on. They know. I want you to let them know where you're from and that.
They don't know the brother Taharka Bey yet. Let me see who in here. That's what I gotta see. I need to see who up in here.
They're just coming in. They just starting to come in. Did you tell your people them?
All right.
This is an open panel show, so anyone can come on, voice your opinion. But I did want to start off the conversation with my brother. As I said, I want to talk about Mr. Master J. And
I am the expert when it comes to that situation.
Right.
I'm the expert. I've done more research than anybody when it comes to that.
That's all.
I initiated the research.
Well, that's the truth of it, because you was the first person I really saw go in the opposite way and not just jumping behind the hype wagon. That's why I started to watch what you was talking about. You get me? But before you go into that, tell the people where you're from. Tell them your YouTube channel. You get me? So they know what time it is, if they don't know already.
If you don't know, now you know. Hold up, man. I like to talk to the people real quick. Give me a second. Let me peace and love, family. What it do? Make sure we got my right camera on. I think we got the right camera on. Peace and love, family. How y'all doing? I like to rise and give praise to Allah, give honor to his prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Family, if y'all don't know me, I'm Brother Taharka Bey from the USA. I'm Brother Taharka Bey from the USA, Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm a Moorish American. If people don't know what that is, what that is and encompasses is we represent those who are descended from the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, known to the world as Moors and known to the world over as Moors. And today we connect to our ancient heritage, the ancient Moabites, known in the Bible as the ancient Moabites, but throughout history, different names have been placed upon us. But the last stronghold of North Africa and the world was the stronghold of the Moors, and we connect to that emphatically. A lot of people may not understand that connection. However, I represent it to the fullest. I consider myself a Moorish science expert. What that means is there's not one question that I have not been asked that I feel as though that I'm not able to give an answer to. And if I'm not able to give the answer to, I got enough elders and enough people around that can help get an answer for you. However, today, I don't like to really stay stuck in yesterday so much, because our people are so messed up that we will find a way to be disagreeable. We will find a way to believe that Kemetic science is the end all and be all. We'll find a way to believe that Hebrew Israelite is the end all be all, and the Moorish will find a way to say that the Moorish is the end all be all. And that's cool for debate, for YouTube, social media, and whatever. But in fact, my aim has become what's going on now. How can we get out of this condition that we in now not only here in America, but universally. How can we get out this
Right.
situation? How can we get this boot off our neck now? And so the war report uh, on the ground in the U.S., that represents me. I'm going to give it to you straight how it is. There is not one place, since this COVID-19, I kind of slowed down, but there's not one place that I haven't been as it relates to some sort of civil unrest and some sort of disappointment as it relates to our people towards this government. And I've
Right.
always been in the midst of it. So I'm here today to give you the war report from my vantage point, from Baltimore, from DC, even from Chicago, because I frequent Chicago, because that's what we call in the Moorish Science Temple of America, our Mecca, as well as here in Baltimore, it's a war going on outside. No one is safe, but so I
Right.
can give it to you real from straight, as you say, on the ground.
Well, let's start with this here, guy. I've kind of spoken to you intermittently in text, but since the lockdown, what's the situation in Baltimore right now with the COVID situation? Let's
Man,
start
let
there.
me
Like, how's it been for you? Because I know you got family and all them kind of things. So how's it been? Talk to me.
I'm gonna give it to you a buck. I wish I would have. I really want to do a report on the COVID of how real it really is.
Mm.
I'm gonna give it to you a buck. In Baltimore, they ain't worrying about none of that. They just not. I frequent in the inner cities of Baltimore, and I can get my son to vouch. Matter of fact, we were just riding through a street called King Street, and I was working a few blocks up the street doing some repairs on a house. And to get back home, I had to go to the street called King Street. They was having a wedding out there. Ain't nobody had no masks on. And my thing is, for all those who fear COVID, continue to do what you do. But my point is that in the inner city, they not getting the memo. However, in the inner city, we don't hear a large cry of people getting sick and dying either. I'm just saying. Listen,
Right.
when I leave the temple on Friday night and I ride through the neighborhoods, man, it be parties and everything. I'm talking about 50 to hundreds of people gathering. During the day, man, there's dice games. See, I'm talking. See, I don't know how it is across the water, but Baltimore is hood. You know what I'm saying? I don't live in the inner city. Where I live at is not the hood. You know what I'm saying? I live in the city, but not the inner city. But I work in the inner city, repairing and doing home improvement and building homes or whatever the case may be, management of properties for this inner city. And brother, I see this stuff firsthand. Ain't nobody paying that stuff no mind. Damn, people might say, like, what are you talking about? Don't make me pull out the camera. Ain't nobody paying that stuff no mind. Not in the inner city. And we do not hear the cry of a bunch of people falling off, dropping off, dead. This is the fact of the matter.
Okay. All right. So now let's move then swiftly on then to the killing of George and the subsequent killing of so many other black people. What's the mood and the vibe on that? Because obviously we're seeing protests, we're seeing rioting. So what's been going on in Baltimore on that front now?
Well, one thing that people have to understand, that if you don't understand, I'm gonna give it to you real. This is an intellectual war. The smartest, the most intelligent wins the war because they planned before the first rock was thrown or the first shot was bust. So it's an intelligent war right now. And so in Baltimore, like, I don't know if people can realize this, and I don't want to really come off as a conspiracy theorist, but I have videos on my Facebook where I actually show how it brews when it get the brewing. But it's an intelligent war. I say that to say this, that a lot of these protests are planned. They are pre-planned.
Right.
And they are orchestrated. Anybody with a little bit of common sense that would not get emotionally attached to these situations and go out there, stand, look, and observe, you will actually see the planning unfold right before your face. You will see it right before your face. And so I've done that. I've done that on my channel, Morris World TV. I got a video where I'm in Baltimore as the planning is happening. As the planning is happening. What I mean why it's happening, they talked all day about a protest. People showed up to the protest, and when the protest happened, they directed the people like sheep, and they moved like school of fish. And I watched it play out. I watched the police in tack gear stand in the corner and plan. We're going to meet a crowd over there coming down this street. We're going to meet a crowd coming down this street, and we're going to turn them this way, and we're going to stop them right here. I got it on video. And what do? They go right where a crowd is, get them to turn, and stop right there. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So a lot of this stuff is pre-planned. It's pre-planned, and our people who go out there, yes, they go out there with genuine concern. They go out there really ready to peaceful protest, as they like to call it. But in fact, when they get out there, they don't even realize that they're being directed like a school of fish. Oh, that somebody said my ex-girlfriend lives off of Poplar Grove and B-More, and she been in the hospital for 3 weeks with COVID. Well, let me tell you something. Where I was talking about that dice game was right up in Poplar Grove, right off of Emerson Avenue, Poplar Grove, Emerson Avenue, and Poplar Grove. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm not saying people are not getting COVID. What I'm saying is that I see this every single day. That is hundreds of people outside shooting dice, playing ball. Like I said, it was a wedding today. Even my son said, man, they ain't got no mask on. I said, they gonna be all right. And this was right up the street. Not up the street from Poplar Grove. It was Poplar Grove and Emerson Avenue at the gas station. At the car wash, in fact, where that dice game was. And I mean, it was a big dice game. It's a big dice game. You know what I mean? They be hitting what you call hitting. They be hustling right across the street from the car wash. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying them that people don't know. You know what I mean? The police right out. They got beat police out there. Beat police ain't doing nothing. They better not. They know what's up. See, it's different in Baltimore. Baltimore is a different, as they would say, a different animal, man. You know what I mean? It's like if Grandmaster Jay came to Baltimore, man, they be trying to take them guns from him. Nah.
Well, this is the next question. Hold on. This is the next question, though. What's going on? Are there any, with the rioting situation, has there been riots in B-More? And is there any armed response? Because I've seen in other parts of America, people taking back the neighborhood and just generally coming out to defend their neighborhood with their own guns and whatever. It's not like the Grandmaster Jay situation, but has that occurred in B-More, that situation?
Because that's all hype. They're not tearing up their own neighborhoods. That's all hype. You know what I mean? Nobody is tearing up their own neighborhoods. That is like some news propaganda. When this unrest happened, most people head downtown. That is propaganda when they say you're tearing up your own neighborhood. I haven't seen not one person tear up their own neighborhood. That's all propaganda and hype. Man, they go to other neighborhoods, they go to the business district, but they don't tear up their own neighborhood. That's all hype. Now, I don't know about any other city, but in Baltimore, you would never see somebody on Poplar Grove busting windows for a business on Poplar Grove. Matter of fact, when the Freddie Gray incident happened, yes, Chinese people, Korean people, they felt that fire. But the people that look like me and you, man, they were selling sodas, chips, popcorn, and everything. They were selling Newports. They were selling everything. You know what I mean? So we got somebody here saying
Yeah.
he grew up on Wabash before he escaped to Columbia, Maryland.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, come on back, brother. Come on back.
Listen, okay then. So we're clear in the situation with BMO. So now let's deal with the point in hand. This movement, this militia that sprang up. So give us the backstory on that. Give us the history of that, because I know it was in where is it? Flint?
No, so
Is it Michigan?
So nah, this is what happened. And we're speaking about the Grandmaster J squad, the not effing around squad. Now, this guy here is definitely an imposter. And the reason why I say and I can prove that he's an imposter for how he moves. Now, in studying the history of infiltrated organizations among our people, he gives all the signs that he's an imposter. One of the signs that he give is a little bit hard to detect because we're used to an agent being a spy. But in fact, this guy is not a spy in the conventional sense. In fact, this guy becomes the leader. He becomes the leader. Back in the 60s, when they wanted to infiltrate movements to liberate our people, they will create a spy, build a spy, and then make him join the organization. Well, in this era of time, they create the organization. Right. You see what I'm saying? It's a little bit different now. And so that's why I say it's a little bit hard to detect. Now, what he did was this. He tried to slide his way into the hip-hop game years ago as a corporate espionage move to try to sell people on this Beams fake equipment for DJs. Well, they ran him out the DJ community real fast. It didn't last. Thoroughbred DJs could recognize the fakeness, and they ran him out. The next move he was getting into was to political espionage, where he ran for president in order not to run to win, but in order to steal votes from possible candidates that could be an opposition to Donald Trump. That's a whole nother story.
Wait. When was he running for president?
He was running for president in when was the last election? 2016? Yeah. 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was political espionage. It's called political espionage when one runs for president. It's kind of like what Kanye West is doing now, saying that he's going to run.
Where he's saying he's trying to draw votes away from Biden.
Yeah. That's what Grandmaster J did. I think it was in 2016. I could be a little bit off, but I'm almost guarantee I'm correct because I'm just coming off the head with it. So after that, and the reason why he wasn't serious about it, because when you look at the voters' public information, he only put 17. He put 7,500 of his own money up. I didn't reveal that yet. He put 7,500 of his own money up, and then somebody matched it. You see what I'm saying? And so that is not enough to run for a political office, not even for the alderman's office in Baltimore. And you talk about the president of the United States. So it's a sham. It's just to get on a ticket. So after that was over, I think Trump gave him the advancement to be security. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of way he got in to be security for Trump's campaign. And when he got in to be security for Trump's campaign, once Trump got into office, he kind of drifted into a quiet space for a minute. Then the next thing he came with was what we see now, the Not Effing Around crew. The Not Effing Around crew was birthed from the Ahmaud Arbery case. He was killed by the police, and now all of a sudden, everybody is up in arms, and we're going to get this European so-called white person. We're going to get him, and rightfully so. However, And I say everybody is up in arms because we know in real time, many of us are just talking. Many of us ain't busting no shots. Many of us ain't doing that. It is what it is. We're going to go and wave our sign, cuss a few people out, and go on home. That's what we're going to do. That history shows and prove that. I mean, however, it was the real deal Black Panther Party that had marched to Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I'm saying? It was the real deal. You know what I mean? Walking to Ahmaud Arbery house. And when he walked to Ahmaud Arbery house with other Panthers, this guy was there. Grandmaster Jay. He was there with a few others in tow with him, most likely agents. And when the camera turned on him, he stole the show. He stole the show. When that camera turned on him, he said something to the effect that, come on out, as he do in his classic thing. Come on out. Yelling, cursing, acting like he was going to bang off on the European who banged off on Ahmaud Arbery. At that point, all the attention left from the Black Panther Party, who had organized this march down that road to this officer house, and all attention came on him. And when that attention came on him, he took it and ran with it. And from that point on, he started the NFAC. He started going live, and he started telling people to join him, unite all militias. Now, there's some real militias out here. They serious. They tired too. You know what I'm saying? And it's some real gun clubs out here that's tired. Well, when they seen him, they like, okay, let's bring our gun club and our militia together to march. And so that's what happened. He never had a militia. He called real militias. This is how bold this agent is. He called real militias, real armed brothers and sisters ready to go. And he brought them together for a march. And he also said that anybody with a gun, anybody who chooses to march, that they can come along and join in the formation. And that's how you see all of those people, many of them untrained and not ready for what's to come. And he's setting them up for the fall. It is what it is. He's setting them up for the fall. So Grandmaster Jay, I don't know the total end game. I don't think we're gonna know the end game till it's happening, till it actually is playing out. But I do know this: if part of the game was to trigger emotional irresponsibility to cause racial tension, it worked. We see what happened in Kenosha, whereas though people are protesting and the little European 17-year-old pull out the gun and bang off. Bang! And bang, bang! He bangs off because he's fueled now. See, these European so-called white people in America, they are fueled and they are trained. See, they ready to bang off for real. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if he claims that the not effing around crew is for the defense of those who's marching, and you know that they marching in Kenosha, why you haven't rolled out yet? Many people ask me, well, why you ain't rolled out? I don't have a militia. I'm not claiming to be a militia.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so if his move was to trigger, the militias, then he triggered them. And it is what it is. Now Europeans fully trained. I'm sure that you've seen on these videos, you got hillbilly country, redneck. They telling you everything about the gun, the metal that it takes to make the gun. and he can't even learn how to shoot the gun. You follow me?
And when there an incident where a couple of them militia guys shot themselves at one of the rallies, the black militia, the not fucking around crew, there was an incident where someone shot themselves or something.
Indeed. So what happened? And I got some good sources that, as you seen on my show, I got the guy that was providing security for him. You know what I'm saying? I got the guy, my good brother Tornado. He was his security detail, so he followed him around. He flanked him. I also got one of the generals who actually bought his militia and actually organized militias and formations within the NFAC. That's my brother Delta. You know what I'm saying? That he figured out that this guy was an agent. Like, oh no, man, he got people flanking him. You know what I mean? Like funny Europeans. And if your audience don't understand what I'm saying, we as Moorish American, we don't refer to Europeans of pale persuasion as white people, if you don't understand where I'm coming from, because they have manipulated the language to try to make white seem good and black seem bad. And so we're not even going to entertain that. Your origin is Europe, you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And so we call you European. It is what it is. You want to manipulate the language to try to make it look good in your favor. Okay, we're going to call you what you is. You're a pale-skinned European. It is what it is. And we are descendants from the inhabitants of Africa. I just want to clarify that because you might keep hearing me saying Europeans. Say, hey, some African Europeans too. No, I'm talking about so-called white people.
That's it. Now, facts, we know, we feel the reference. We feel the reference. Hey, listen, big up to everyone who's coming in. As you come in, people, you know what it is. Smash that like button for me, yeah? Hit that up. This is an open panel show. I am kicking off the conversation with my brother Tahaka Bay from Moorish TV. I'm happy that he's joining me live from B-More. And he's just dropping some talks, talking about what's been going on from his perspective in his city. And now we've been just talking about the history of Grandmaster Jay and the not fucking around militia, and the story of that. And again, you know, let's be clear, because what my brother just said is important, that he has brought in people who have good sentiments, were forming their own militias, and asked them to join him. So all those brothers and sisters you see out there, let's be clear, whether or not we're saying the movement has been co-opted by him at the top, a lot of those brothers and sisters you're seeing have the right idea when they go out there. And let me ask you this, Tahaka, like, how do you feel about militias? Do you think it's a necessary part? Do you think it's a futile kind of gesture based on where we are? Because again, a lot of people will say the fight angle on a basic one, cool. But if they really want to roll out, is it really helping? Is it going to antagonize? How do you feel about militias in America?
Well, to be clear, I believe militias are a necessary component of what we're going to need for our freedom. I am 1,000% with it. However, because in our Constitution there is a place for militias. You see what I'm saying? This is not in the Constitution of the United States. This is not people in the news and the government try to make it look like an evil. But in fact, there is a clause in the United States Constitution that permits that. And I support the Constitution of the United States. That's just what it is. I support it not because what's been represented under it, but what can be drawn from it. And if the Constitution said that you got a right to bear arms, pack that burner. You know what I'm saying? If the Constitution said you have the right to form a militia, form a militia. That's why I support it. Many people say, what do you mean you support it? Yep. You know what I mean? So with that being said, why do I support a militia though? I support a militia for responsible purposes. What I'm trying to do here in Baltimore and around the country here in America is building a community, a Moorish community, a conscious community, really on the ground where Moors, Hebrews, Kemetic progressive mind, Christians, whomever, want to live in the same community will be able to live there in the same place. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, in order for that place to thrive, we would have to have security, militia, something to protect it to some degree. Now, can we match the drones that the United States have that they drop on countries in the Far East? No. Can we match the firepower? No. But you know what? We got to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. And so, yeah, I am 1,010% with militias that are responsible and protecting something that has been or in the progress of being built. What Grandmaster Jay is doing is saying that he needs to protect protesters, yet all these protests that's going on, he haven't rolled out yet. The best he's done is screamed at a mountain. The best he's done is walk the streets of Louisville like a Macy's Day Parade. And now he's going to Louisville again to march again. So all he did was put away the flag, put away the posters, and grab a 22 automatic weapon. And now he's just flashing that as a poster. You ain't banging nothing. You ain't banging nothing. Stop fronting. And all these duty-eyed brothers and sisters out here that all get all mad, but we need to do that. We need to do that. No, if you really want some smoke, there's some protests going on out here. If you really want some smoke, you ain't got to go to the Kentucky Derby where ain't no fans going to be. You ain't got to do nothing. It's just like this. Many people may think that I talk real brash or whatever the case may be, which I really don't. You know what I mean? I just tell the truth as I see it. And they might say, well, why you ain't there? I'm going to say again, I ain't one claiming that I got a militia. That's not what I'm claiming. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, why are you asking me why I'm there? If I go there, I'm going to report. And after I report, I'm going to try to direct the energy to a positive result. You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be out there fronting like I'm gonna bang something, because that's what's happening. Right. But I say this. Let me let you. I yield with this. My problem is that he's provoking. He's provoking emotional uproar. He's getting people in an emotional uproar. And when they go out there for real with no training, their blood is going to be shed, and he's going to do another morning mental. What did he say? Facts over feelings. They going to be laying in the streets. That little boy ain't going to see his father. That little boy ain't going to see his mother. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to be going to the next live stream. That's my problem with it. And if anybody got a problem with it, look, I'm in this to the end. You know what I mean? One thing about me, I don't got no fear in me. I'm in this to the end, and I'm going to call it how I see it. You follow what I'm saying? Somebody said they would like to hear both sides of the story. What I would like to recommend is that you go to my channel and view the video that I have. It says why I say Grandmaster Jay is an agent. And if you will, let me just answer this real quick. Somebody said we got a lot of division in the U.S. and the world. Listen, either we are going to follow a government plant, a FBI informant, a CIA operative, and end up on the wrong side of history as it relates to our liberation, or we going to wisen up and say, man, leave that alone and let's establish something real. You know what I'm saying? And so in life, there's two things. The one is truth, the other is falsehood. Find out what side this guy fall on. If you think it's truth, keep rocking with it. We'll see. I know this guy's a fraud. I ain't rocking with it. It is what it is. Peace, my brother. How you doing, my brother? Mr. Pirate Bane. How you doing, brother? I don't know you, but I love your smile, brother.
Be more in the house.
What's going on, my brother? Big up.
Now, but I grew up down there. Yeah, you know, you're right. I mean, when he first came out, I was kind of rocking, but I sat back. I'm older, so it's like I don't just hop on the bandwagon right away. Now I might go and say, yeah, okay, he's cool, you know, but what really changed my mind about this character is when he said he was leaving all the platforms, and then the next day he was back. I was like, look, either you leaving or you not. Which one is it? You know, if you was leaving and you couldn't leave and you had to come back, then your strategy's messed up. You know? You know, and that's the way I felt about it. And you know, now there was no need for him to go down to the protest because let's be real about it. Those protests have all turned Caucasian. You see?
Right.
So when you go down, I mean, everybody's all up in arms about this little white boy that shot those 3 people. All the people he shot was white. So why are we getting in our feelings about it? We need to think like white folks do. When in Baltimore, when you know at nighttime, you know, because my aunt lived off of Gwen Oak. We go to visit her, and you hear gunshots all night long. Sound like 4th of July.
Mr.
You know?
Pop, I live in the junction. I live in the junction off of Gwen Oak.
See, my grandmother, where I used to stay at, I grew up on Wabash, like I told you earlier, but my grandmother lived on Elamont. Man, we used to go up to the junction back in the day and get those Philly cheesesteaks, them crinkle fries, and a Fanta soda. You know about that if you lived there long enough.
Hey, I hope they still eat that.
And you know, you got the library right there. It used to be right there on the corner as you go up. But yeah, so if it's no need for him to go, we all up in arms about this white boy. That ain't our business. When we kill each other, white folks, you know what they think? Damn, okay, they killing each other. That's less work for us to do.
Absolutely.
That's how we got to look at it when they kill each other.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And you know, at the end of the day, one of the major things that we have to recognize is this, that if someone claimed to be a freedom fighter, if someone claimed to be on the front line for our people, we need to verify some sort of track record. We have to verify some sort of track record because there's too much at stake. There's too much at stake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is not we meeting to pass out book bags. This is life or death. And if you can't pass the litmus
and to be honest with you, we don't have the weaponry to do what he's doing. Think about it, man. He got people there with shotguns that only carry, 5 cartridges. That shit, they gonna waste 4 of them cartridges, just like the one that fell down and it was a shotgun from the Civil War, whatever it was. I don't know what it was,
Brother, this is the first time you're coming on Black Eyes TV, so I appreciate it to that one. You said you was in Austin, Texas. I see the heat. I see like a lot of stories coming out of Texas. What's the story in Texas with the riots?
They got protests. They got protests down in Texas too. In fact, somebody just got shot down there about 2 weeks ago, down off of 6th Street. But it was a white person. But this white person was dating a black woman that was in a wheelchair, and he was pushing her across the street. And some white dude in the car just rolled up and shot him. They'll sacrifice their own if they feel that their own people ain't on code, and that's what they'll do. But see, my thing, I'm a little bit of both. I'm a little bit of ADOS philosophy. I want my reparations. But here's where I stand. I ain't staying here to wait for them. I'm moving to an African country of my choice.
Right.
I'm moving there. I'm tired of this, man. I've been marching since I was 18. I was marching in DC when we was trying to boycott South Africa. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's like, and I ain't voting this time because every year since I was 18, I just turned 59 yesterday. I've been voting every election since I was 18, even when I lived outside of the country. What has it gotten us? It got us a racist white man and Donald Trump.
Well, you know,
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said it. Hold up to the Hucker 1 second. I'm glad you said that you've been voting for that long, because I did a show last week, this same talk show panel, and we was talking about, is voting helping or harming our people? And again, at this point, with the system that we're in, just like we're seeing Trump and Biden, does it even make sense? And where you might think, okay, we're going to get rid of this Trump guy, then you're encouraging another guy who's maybe answering one query out of 10,000 that you have as a people that you want addressed, and none of them are getting addressed. So at some point, at what point do we understand that that is hurting us? And that's my opinion. It's hurting us to keep voting and keep this illusion of inclusion.
He's not answering nothing. Right. Yeah, he's not answering nothing for us because, see, I graduated in 79 from high school. I'm a product of the 80s. I left in 88 to move to South America for a few years. And I remember the crack epidemic. He passed all those laws that locked out some of I know people that's still locked up from the 80s. Some people on weed. Here it is, weed is damn near illegal across the country and they still in jail. You know, so and this is his thing. I've seen all the videos with the vitriol that he said they need to lock us up and get up off the street. They don't care about what we went through and this and that. We just don't want them knocking our mothers and our sisters up, and then Hillary calling us super predators. No, we don't need to be voting for them. Right. We need to opt out of the system is what we need to do.
What do you think, Tahaka?
So I think my personal opinion is that we've been voting wrong. I don't think the national election is going to benefit us any way, shape, or form. That's first and foremost. I don't believe in that it's going to benefit us in any way, shape, or form. However, when you understand local elections in America, if here in Baltimore, if I can get 1,000 people on the same page, you know what I mean? I can put anybody I want in office locally. They can control the bag locally. You know what I'm saying? And that's in any inner city around the country. If you can get 1,500 people to vote one way, this is how they create Jewish communities. This is how they create Italian communities, and this is how they create Greek communities. In America, every place have a community. Every nationality has some sort of community. And what they do is they go and move on a certain district. See, most people think that people just living together. Well, in fact, it don't work like that. They actually move on a certain district, and they begin to build their numbers on that district. Before you know it, this is how Chinatowns are built. You know what I mean? You go to Chinatown in New York City, you go in some place in Chinatown, ain't no English word up in that demonstration. The police is Chinese up in there. It's like China. It's like China. Right. Real talk. With us, we vote wherever the wind blows. The moment that we realize that our vote is like money, the moment that we realize that we pick one amongst ourselves and we say 2,000 people, all of y'all vote this way. All of y'all vote for Black Ice on such and such day. By the morning, Black Ice got the pen to the checkbook. By the morning. That's locally, though. That's locally. Nationally, no. That there's no benefit in that until you smash locally, nationally. In other words, every city will have to use this blueprint to put them in the position of the pen, the stroke of the pen. Then you control the bag. You don't control the bag, you know what I mean? You got to understand, politics is about managing the people money and managing the people's affairs. If you are not at the table to manage the money or the affairs, you are on the table. So we got to vote one way. It's called block voting. That's only local, though. Local. I'm not talking about nationally. And that can happen anywhere in the world. We the only ones suffer from somebody saying, I'm a Democrat, vote for me. We love you. We the only ones suffer from this illusion and disillusion mind that we just going to vote for anybody because they say they're a Democrat. Man, I don't care what you are. Locally, I'm telling you, 1,500 votes in any inner city can change the dynamic. It's a fact. We see communities do it all the time.
One of the problems I think we run into is they prop up a lot of sisters in there, and we get fooled by the, by the sisters, and we don't really understand where they came from. Because think about it, all the ones in Baltimore that just got arrested for getting locked up for doing foul stuff, and you was like, dang, I thought she was gonna be the one.
Hey, bro.
Because I've been following Baltimore politics.
You right.
Come on, we can name them, but I'm not even gonna name them. You know who I'm talking about.
Well, let me tell you something about that. You know what I mean? As I was talking, I was talking to my brother Richie about when we was coming in, I was talking about how the protests are pre-organized and pre-arranged in order to shift things. Well, a lot of these candidates, they are put in like that too. Sister Sheila Dixon, who was the mayor of Baltimore, she was doing a wonderful job. I'm telling you, she was doing good, man. She took a lot of them projects, Lexington Terrace and Murphy Homes, man. She built townhomes. She was doing very well. But what happened was that the business community of downtown Baltimore, the Schaefer descendants that was building downtown Baltimore, had a problem with her building. So she got set up. It is what it is. And then they pit Catherine Pugh against her. Catherine Pugh gets in office, and she played games with the wrong people. She didn't promise somebody the wrong thing. And so then they aired her out. Now she on her way to prison. So my point in saying all of that, and I took pictures with both of them. I'm like, man, I think Catherine Pugh gonna be the one. She gonna be the one. I was like, man, I had to take my pen. Like, man, come on. And the thing is this: they set her up and put them two sisters against each other. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, let me tell you this: until we decide, until somebody in Poplar Grove, until somebody in Murphy Homes area off of Pennsylvania Avenue stand up and say, we're going to pick one from amongst us that we can trust, that we grew up with, that we know who their mother and father is for generations, we're going to put them in place, and they're going to bring the bag back. Until we do that, ain't nothing.
Hold on. You guys. 1 second, IC3. I'm going to bring you right in after this, yeah, because I know you. The IC3 is another English guy. He supports the channel, comes on. He deals with reparations through banking systems. That's one of the things he likes to suggest and talk about. But what I wanted to say is, don't you guys feel frustrated, even on the local voting, which I get totally. I understand you controlling your stuff in your community directly, making decisions, and as you're saying, controlling the funding. But don't you get frustrated when in the past we've voted people from the community for the community, and then as soon as they've now, which is inevitable, go up to that next level, that federal level, that, you know, the parliamentary level, if we're over here, suddenly now they're unreachable. Suddenly now the game changes, and all of that trust. And again, some of these people, they're not selling out. They're not sellouts. But now that they've entered that higher arena, the rules change. It goes back to that set situation that stops us from having our own behind enemy lines. So again, like the brother came to the realization and said earlier, which I respect, he's leaving to the African country of his choice or wherever the hell. I mean, is there a point where, and this is really for you, because Tahaka Bey, because he's answered this,
right?
You know, do you not feel frustrated? Is there a point where you're looking and saying, this thing don't really make it no more?
Nah.
You understand? Because I hear you talk about the Constitution. I know you're more. So tie that all in.
I'm sorry, my apology. Go ahead, brother.
No, go on. I'll finish.
The
I'm
only
done.
thing that frustrates me is my people that don't understand this basic truth. And so when you say that we vote people in from the community, they're not really from the community. They've been gone. They've been gone. They've been gone crazy. We vote people from a campaign. I'm not talking about voting people from a campaign. I'm speaking of voting people from the perspective that we decide 4 years in advance that you are going to represent us. And we going to get behind you, not from a campaign, because the original process of politics was the community chose one from amongst them. It wasn't one trying to sell themselves to the community. That was the original politics, that we were a group, we were a community, and one amongst us, we select you to represent us. We need to get back to that, not one that campaigns and sell themselves to us, and we say they're from amongst us. Nah.
Yep. Very good.
Nah, we don't need that no more. Most people that get up there and switch up, they already switched up because they sold themselves to you. We need to pick our own.
It was kind of like what you just described.
And let me explain this real quick. Let me explain this real quick, Brother Richie. The point that I'm making with that is, just like my brother Pirate, I respect that because I've told my wife we getting a home in Ghana. Don't get it twisted. I respect that. You understand what I'm saying? However, many of our people will be stuck here when I know that there is a process that could possibly work if we get the right thousands together to work it, especially here in Baltimore. So I can't leave my people stranded when I feel as though that I got something to offer for the resolution. You see what I'm saying? Somebody got to be here for the people.
Okay.
I feel you. IC3, I know you got a question. Go to my brother. Big up for coming on and supporting as always.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Big up to Melody as well for joining us. But yeah, go to IC3. Ask your question for the brothers.
Yeah, this is a very good and interesting conversation. Very serious. Now, I hear the same thing over the years as time goes by, and how best to organize the community in order to block vote, because the block vote is the way you can get things done. Unity. So the question is, what is the best way to organize people so that they can see the value in voting as a block?
You asking me?
Well, anybody. I'm just sending it out there.
Let me say this. Before you can get people to vote as a block, first you got to gain people confidence. First, you got to be able to let them know that, number one, and I want people to hear me, especially I need the audience to hear me really, really clear. That every time you buy a blunt, every time you buy a Black and Mild, every time you pay a tax on anything, a beer, gas, anything, that is your money. If you pay $5 and they take 5 cents, that 5 cents is your money. You have to let people know that you're going to get their money back, but you need their support. See, it's about the money at the end of the day.
Whoa.
It's about the bread.
Oh, I disagree.
Organize to show our people that when you buy, see, one thing about religious people, I'm a religious person, but I'm not a fool. See, I know people going to always smoke blunts. People always going to drink. And in the inner city, those are the most unconscious voters that we have. But if we start talking about that money, they ain't unconscious about that. They ain't unconscious about that. So every time, that's right. Every time you buy some weave, every time you buy some makeup, every time you buy some Jordans, you paying taxes and you leaving your money on the counter. Let's go get the bread. Can we get together to get the bread? Now, when you're able to get the people organized around the effort of bringing the bread back, then we can get something. Then we can get somewhere. But now, on the flip side of that, the moment that we get there, we got to bring the bread back and stop playing. And if you don't bring the bread back, there should be a cemetery nearby for you. That's just what it is.
Interesting.
Where is it?
Any other views? I disagree, by the way, but I'll listen.
I wanted to hear where.
What's going on, Melanie?
Peace to everyone on the panel. Peace to everyone in the chat. I wanted to hear where Brother Taharka Bey, where does he feel like that's going to take people? So people go after the money that they're leaving on the table. What does it look like? People voting a particular way. Where is that going to get 13% of African Americans in America? Where is that going to get them?
Well, let me say this. The first thing we got to understand that we need to get back to community. Community is very important. Here in Baltimore, we got a place, and my brother Prince just left, but he could tell you about it. We got a place here called Jewtown. What I'm talking about is I've done the analysis, and this is what these Europeans do. Exactly what I'm saying is what these Europeans do. So what we need to do is get back to community. We need to separate a place into ourselves and build our own community, no different than Black Wall Street. That's what we need to do. And when we're
so why do we need to vote to do that? Because they didn't build Black Wall Street by voting.
No.
Good point.
The vote controls the money that you have put in.
But why do we
want to get the money back?
To have, I hear. Listen. I hear that, right?
Right.
But we don't have it right now. But we still could have a Black Wall Street. So I'm saying, let's not merge the two as if voting is now going to yield this Black community.
No.
It may not still yield that Black. Well, I'm just saying the way in which that's why I'm asking you directly, because the way that you're expressing it.
Let me say this.
If
good
Black
point.
Women, if I'm not Black women, if Black people, you know, you got this 4,000 people, and they're all voting this way. Somehow, magically, we're going to have this Black-run hospital. Somehow, we're going to magically have better schools in the Black community. Everyone's going to have high test scores now. We're going to have, you know, a lot of Black businesses. There's going to be Black mom and pop shops opening up because everybody voted. Like the way that you're expressing it, as if one equals the other, and I'm trying to get understanding of that.
Let me explain this.
Good point. Good point.
In community, there is multiple building blocks to build the building. You understand? Voting is only one of the bricks to reclaim that which was lost. Neglect the voting, neglect being the power, you become subjected to the power. So the voting is just one brick to put your people in power at some stage and at some point. That doesn't mean that you don't stop the effort. That doesn't mean that the efforts of getting it from the mud stop and that voting is the end all be all. No, you attack from all ends. This is war. You attack.
Let me say this, Tahaka. But let me say this here. But this is what I said earlier. This is my belief, and my understanding of it. That the system set up that as soon as you vote and there's a consistency of vote, that representation that you're voting for is pushed to the next level, which you want naturally, because you want them at the upper echelons to again secure a bigger bag, supposedly, and secure more say in the upper echelons of your government. But again, we know in UK, across Europe, in USA, the system's set up, and this is what I feel like the sister's saying. And by the way, Melanated Goddess is from New York, just as a point of reference. But you know, our frustration comes because I believe that upper echelon of the government is there to absorb that effort that you're going to put in most of the time to the block voting or whatever kind of efforts you're doing. That's why, as she's saying, even though you're voting, and again, I can hear where you're coming from, Taka, when you're saying there's multiple steps to creating institutions in your community. There's co-activity, there's fundraising, there's all sorts of things that need to be done, but the voting is a fast. as far as I'm
Tell you
concerned. From the beginning to the end. Amongst your own people, voting works, but the moment it comes outside of that,
let me tell you this, bro. Let me say this. While you're saying that, they're voting on a law against you right now, and you have no say at the table. While you're saying this right now, somebody is voting for your prosperity right now. So the point is,
you really believe
listen to me.
Believe that
what I'm saying is
13% of people, right, are somehow going to drastically change it so that white America are now going to pass policies that favor the 27% of the black community that lives beneath the poverty. Listen, 27% of the black community live beneath the poverty line, and damn near 50% of the black community are at least beneath the poverty line and the working poor. So if you meaning they're barely above the poverty line.
But guess why?
They're families of 3 and 4, and they make about $35,000 a year. That's somewhere around 50% of the black community. And you think that the affluent white America they are going to join us, the 13%, they're going to join us, and they're going to pass policies that's going to actually benefit us.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. In Baltimore, in the district that I live in, let's start with the microcosmic understanding of what I'm talking about. In the district that I live in, is 85% us. If 85% us is in this district, then one amongst us should represent and move that bag for us, is what I'm saying. Now, you're talking about a national level. I'm talking about the district that I live in. If we can control the district, that's a start. That's a start. Now, when you're talking about voting, you going too big, because we don't have the numbers on a national level to affect change like that. But what we do have, the numbers in these inner cities to affect change. When you go and look at the school in Poplar Grove, and you go look at a school out there in Baltimore County, there's a total different contrast. The reason why is because those that's on the board to make sure that school got air conditioned out there in Baltimore County or and another place outside of the inner city, they have allotted funds. Nobody is speaking up for the people in the inner city. Now, is that the end all be all? No. My objective in my community is to create a community that is progressive, but that mirrors what Amish people do. Go get 20, 30 acres and build it from the mud. Leave me alone. That's where I'm at with it.
Are they going to leave you alone?
Here's something that I think you're missing a point on, okay? And this is this. We can't get our people to stay out of these Chinese restaurants. We can't get our people.
That's the point.
Let me finish now. We can't get our people to stop buying the nails at a hair salon. Now, let me tell you something. First of all, we don't need Chinese food. I know I can cook Chinese food. We don't need nails and hair. Our women look more beautiful without them, if you ask me. You know, I'm not judging them. I'm just saying they look more beautiful without them. Now, go to a Chinese place and see if you can set up a store in their neighborhood and you won't sell nothing. But we flock to all the Indian stores, the Chinese cleaners or the Korean cleaners. We give all our money to these people. So if you can't get us to stop doing that, how are you gonna get them to do what you saying you want them to do?
Hey, brother,
one second. Excuse me. Can I say something? Can I say something, please? Can I say something?
I said
one person at a time.
Can I say something, please?
My problem is with my people not coming together.
Your name.
I know that. But see, this is what happens. I find that whenever I get into conversations like this, everybody gets all excited and starts rattling over problems. We can't do this. We can't do that. Our black people do it. Well, they cannot. They don't seem to come up with solutions. Their mouth is firing so fast on problems. They're not eating Chinese. The Indians are doing this. The Koreans are doing this. I don't care. I'm here to discuss solutions.
The solution is for us to move back to Africa. That's the solution. We got to be
I like
around
that
all of our
Right.
people.
Okay. Well, let's
I
hear
like that
somebody else's
solution.
solution.
Now. So
Sorry,
one,
what's your solution?
I was saying that I did like that solution that the brother just mentioned, but I will also say a solution for people who choose to stay, because everyone's not going to go. So, and that's fine with me. You know, like we can do by continental business, and I can be on the continent of Africa, and I can do business with African Americans over here. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
everybody don't have to go. But what I do think is part
Okay.
of the solution is, I think if you're going to vote, do not be putting all of your hopes and things like this is the answer to our problems. I think the answer to our problems is, I think the problem, I think it's more of what Brother Pirate, Mr. Pirate is saying, is that we need to become more community focused. And I think Marcus Garvey, he united lots of Black African Americans, not saying everybody go vote. He just said everybody unite under the identity of being a Negro. And Elijah Muhammad,
Right. Very
Elijah
good.
Muhammad had people
Right.
and instituted and erected all of these institutions and businesses and established communities, not because people were voting, but because they had a common identity. They had they
Yep.
figured they were a community, and they saw the purpose, and they saw the
Where is
importance
it now?
of that's regardless of the point, because we could say, what did my vote do last 4 years ago? What
They
did my
haven't
vote
done
do
nothing
2 years
because we
ago?
haven't implemented
So
what I said.
I'm just saying, okay, and guess what? And it didn't. It failed. That doesn't mean you can't erect it again. So Black Wall Street is gone. So that's it. Don't try it
No.
again.
What I'm saying
Is that your
is,
answer?
hey, sister melanated goddess.
Yeah.
What I'm bringing to the table, we have never tried. What you're talking about has
Tried what?
no, we
have
have
never
never tried. Let me say this. We have never tried to organize a vote to implement, to put one amongst us in that we picked to put in. We have never tried that. We have been campaigning.
I'm sure people feel like they put
We
those
never
people
tried it.
in.
So you can't even say it doesn't work. We never tried
What
it.
do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean we never tried it? We've never tried to elect our own.
Give me an example.
What,
Give me an example.
Yeah, this sounds
hold
strange.
on. Are we talking about locally? Or are we talking about on an
locally? I'm speaking only about locally. What I'm saying is we have never tried to say that we got 1,000 people in this district and we came together, sit down, no European there, no provocateurs, and sit down and say, you know what? We're going to pick Mr. Private, and he's going in to vote. He's going in to represent us. So on November such and such, all of us there, we're voting for Mr. Private. Mr. Private, listen, this is what we need you to bring back for us. Now, the other building efforts move forward, the building of the schools, the building of the grocery stores, the building of this, that, and the other, but you have to attack from all angles because the system moves on with or without you.
Bro, it's
Do you think we have the tax bill?
So in a
solution.
black city, in a black city, who's electing the black person who gets in power if it's not other black people? I'm confused on what your point is.
You didn't hear what I just said. They're campaigning to us. That's different than you picking one from amongst you. I don't think you hear it.
I'm sure somebody selected that person.
Okay.
Show me.
I can't.
No, you did not see.
Any black person,
you're making theories.
There's a process. There's a process for them to become a candidate. Is that not true?
Where is it?
Is there not are you saying that there's no process for them to become a candidate? If that's
No,
what you're saying,
what I'm saying is this. I'm gonna break it down one more time. If we got 20,000 people, I'm gonna go up to 20,000 people, and we create a committee, not somebody that one day say I'm gonna go get on the ballot and I'm gonna campaign to you. And we create a committee and say we are going to filter out people that we are going to put in power. That has never been done.
Have we ever had? So, well, first of all, listen to what you're saying. In order to have 20,000 people, what is that called? That's called being organized.
I'm only using, I'm just grabbing a number out of the air.
No, listen. That's being organized. Have we ever been organized?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just asking you a question, brother.
Say it again.
Have we ever been organized?
We have been organized under an
Okay.
illusion, quite rightfully so. We'll vote Democratic.
an
That's organized.
illusion.
It doesn't benefit us.
Okay.
It don't
Okay.
benefit us.
I'm asking you, have we been organized?
We have been organized under illusions.
So under the times when we were organized, were we able to do things for ourselves, whether
You
we
know-
voted or not? Yes
Let me
or no?
tell you something. The last time we had been organized and we affect change was before the Reconstruction. Somebody say, I don't know history. Check the Reconstruction. We controlled the whole South. The whole South. And then Jim Crow laws came in. And something happened to allow them to creep in. But you have to examine history to see that. But we
Yeah,
controlled the whole
they went into the Congress and they dragged the black folks out, kicking and screaming, and killed them. I mean, they were
And guess
voted
what?
in there.
And guess what? And guess what? And today, you're going to let somebody come in your house and drag you out? We didn't
Well,
put provisions
we're
in
not
place.
at that point.
We did not put
I'm just
provisions
trying to
in
say,
place.
I'm
I
just
was
saying
saying-
that I could build my house.
It's our
You know what I'm
fault.
saying? Like, I feel like this, regardless of if who's in office come election time, Biden or Trump, Chinatown's still gonna be there.
Yes, you're right, sis. And I ain't even,
And
I have no interest in either of
what
that.
I'm saying is that could be Little Africa, regardless of who's in office.
And
This
guess
is
what?
my point.
Chinatown holds the politics of Chinatown. Chinese hold the politics of that district. Better believe it. They got a bank in there. They own that district.
Here
They
we
own
go
that-
again.
They
Here
got-
we
and
go
they-
again.
and
What
they
the
got
Chinese are
that-
doing.
And they got that by voting, or did they got
Yes.
that by
No,
organizing?
they got there by voting out the European and putting their own people in.
They got that
But
by
they got that by
organizing.
Okay, so
voting.
how do
They
we
got
do
that
that?
by being, they got that by
Hold
being
up,
the
hold up.
dominant,
But
the dominant group in that area.
No,
Right.
that's the point that I'm making. That's an example.
Well, see,
No,
here's,
no, no, no.
That's not
here's
about
another way to
voting.
look at this. ICS
can't believe
ICS
this.
had an important question, and this goes back to moving to Africa, because what do the Chinese do when they move here? They get money from China to build their
Okay.
businesses. We don't have
Bravo.
that base here to get money. That's the problem. So,
And so
a lot
what?
of us need
And
to
so
go to
what?
Africa and be able to send money back here to people that we trust that can build it. Without Africa, there is no building here.
Brother,
Right.
only thing
That's
I'm
what I
saying
was
is without
gonna
unity, none of what we're talking about is possible, period.
We were
Unity-
unified in the civil
Okay.
rights movement, man.
unified
Okay.
in
That's it.
our
So how
Look,
can I ask a question? Can I
Yes,
ask a
my
No,
question?
sorry. Go
Right.
through IC3.
I'd
Go
like an
through,
answer.
sorry, bro.
Go on. Yeah. Okay. So back to
No, kick
solutions.
it.
Right. So how do we get unity?
now.
What is the most effective way to achieve unity? I don't want to hear what the Chinese are doing. I don't want to hear what the Jews are doing. I don't want to hear what the Koreans are doing.
brother.
What
Listen.
is the most effective way for Black people to unify?
Brother, I think it's economics. Now, how do we develop that? I'm not sure at this point, but I believe economics, whether it's political, whether it's just on the ground building and coalitions for economics, I believe it's economics because we are so diversified in our beliefs that I think one thing for sure that we don't like to suffer economically. So I think it's economics, bro. Now, how do we bring that about? That's a tough question.
Right. So how do we bring it about?
Right
But
now,
I'm with
right now in the Gambia, you can buy land. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Which is
Go ahead.
sorry. Just before you come back in, I'm with what you said already, brother. Which is, if you're not connected to the landmass where the wealth is coming from that supports your very society, yeah, your westernized America, UK, whatever, then you will not have any power in your community, because as the brother said, those other communities, Chinese, Indian, whatever, whether we're talking to the London people now, the mayor of London is Indian. Yeah, that's because their community makes money and is connected to the country. No, it's not just the money here. They're connected to the country. They have people that if they're mistreated here, there's a consequence on the bigger trade scene. So
unity,
the Black American. No, I'm with you, but that's the thing. Unity. The Black Americans, but that's the thing. What we're talking about, having power behind enemy lines, because that's what we're in. We're in a place. Huh?
Bro, and the Indian just didn't wake up with power. They worked to establish it. They work to establish political power. They work to establish an economic power.
That's not only true. You're not listening to what he just said. He's literally saying
that's not to work towards to making these powers be for us.
The Indians have been here less time than us. The Chinese have been here less time.
You're saying work for it, right? But what I'm saying is that I think part of the work has to do again what Brother Pyrus said. Not going to the Chinese man, not having oh, I need to get the Xbox 5, 10, 11, 12 every time it comes out. I'm not standing in line for sneakers, pre-ordering sneakers, $300-400 sneakers. You know?
So it goes back to my original statement. My problem is not the political system or the economic system. My problem is the bringing our people together.
None of that has to do with voting. What I just said. None of that has to do with voting.
No. Before we can get to effective voting, effective economics, effective anything, we have to get to effective mindset with a plan to where we're trying to go. And when I'm talking about voting, I said in the beginning, I'm talking about local, where 1,500 people can change the whole community of a Park Heights, of a Wabash. I'm not talking about on a world stage. I'm talking about I want to start locally small somewhere and see change and make the blueprint, and then we can roll out with something else. We haven't even done nothing locally in our communities yet, and we're talking the presidential election. The presidential election won't do anything.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So let's deal with the local community now, and let's say the goal is 1,500 people. So what is the best way to unify 1,500 Black people?
And I've already answered that. It's all
barbecue.
It's all about.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say it. But
let's let this down. Right.
You know, food and music. You're gonna draw a crowd, and then you got a speaker or something, right?
No, that's not gonna work because that's all we already know. That's not.
No, it does work. You know what? Listen. I think why do you think people like to go to church? People go to church because they talk about the food. My son was the other day, and I ain't had him in church in daggone like 8-9 years, and he talking about, I remember we used to eat good after service. Boy, you ain't been in church in how long?
Hold on.
He still remember all his food.
Hold on. You're missing
I can't hear you, sis. I can't hear you, sis.
Yeah, go on, Spice. I can hear you.
Trying to say local.
Is she breaking up for y'all?
Yeah, she kind of breaking up.
Okay. I didn't want to be talking over her because
it's cool. Sure.
And here's the thing that I found out when I go on different platforms. A lot of us that want to affect change. This is just my feeling. I'm not making an accusation, but it's a gut feeling. I'm saying it with all due respect. I think a lot of us are afraid to discuss going back to the motherland. So we go around in circles here instead of going back, at least seeing the place if you don't want to go back, seeing it and go, hey, wait a minute. We can do something here and make some money because like in Ghana, they're giving away free land right now. All you got to do is pay the registration fee, $700. In the Gambia, a plot of land is $1,000. I'm talking about a one-time plot of land Here, you never own it. You got to pay taxes every year or they take it back. It's the trick bag. So until we go back there and see that we can make money and then affect change here, we're never going to be able to do it. They've been doing this to us for 400 years. And so we're going to come up with an idea now.
Brother Private, you can only say that to the T'Challas, but there's a whole lot of Killmongers that they ain't trying to hear that. You feel me? They just not, the Killmongers is just not trying to hear it. All the T'Challas is like, yeah, I'm going to go.
Well, yeah, but the Killmongers, we need them here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with staying here because when we send the money back, they can take care of business. You know, I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, if we want to use a fantasy, at the end of the day, Killmonger went back to Africa.
He did. True. He really wanted to rule from the base, but the thing, this goes out to my, you know, all the indigenous brothers and sisters who, you know, for whatever reason, you understand, whatever reason you don't want to recognize Africa and do want to stay. There's some tough questions that you're gonna have to ask yourself. This is the realness of it because it's not set up for me to run.
Many of us that claim that this back to Africa thing, ain't nobody making no moves to that. And I in fact done more research, just like Mr. Private, I can see that he has done to bring it to a reality. You know what I'm saying? And so we just sometimes what I'm talking about is if we are going to be in America and our family is going to be in America, well, we better understand how things work in America, and we better try to attack it from all angles. Politics is not the end-all be-all solutions. Money is not the end-all be-all solution. We got so many things to cover. We got culture. We don't have no culture for real. Come on, we go to the African American Festival and they got watered down macaroni and cheese. We need culture. We need so many things. But what I'm saying is we have to try to not negate the fact that politics plays a part in all community activities. So if you're going to live in a community, control the community. At least try. Don't neglect the fact that politics control the community. That's
don't you think you got to form the community though? I think. So the first step, right? So I think when Richie was speaking about things, I think the first step is not this whole voting thing. The first step is literally formulating this community. Because people are not on the same page. People are not, they don't like. Do you understand? Like I get pushback from brothers and sisters. Hold on, listen. I get pushback from other Black people because I mentioned that the person that prepares my tax is a Black woman, or I mentioned the fact that my dentist is Black. Why a dentist got to be Black? I mean, don't you just want to have a good dentist? Doesn't matter. Why do they? I mean, I'm not saying it's that they're bad dentists because they're Black.
Got it.
Why do we
real quick?
Have to?
Because I ain't got too long.
Black dentist.
I ain't got too long. This is my son. He's 10 years old. Taji. What are we building, Taji?
We're building a nation.
What are we building though? What is it called?
The Moorish Ensemble Murder?
The Moorish Village, boy.
Oh, the Moorish Village.
We actually, what have we been looking at? What have we been looking?
We're looking at plots of land.
Come on, don't say no more. You understand what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making is this, sis. You're right. We have to build the community first. And I came on early and I told Richie, I said, before we even start talking about militias, we need to have something to protect. We need to have a community to protect. So I'm with you 1000%. And I'm not saying, and I don't want anybody on this platform thinking that I'm saying the voting is the end all be all, but our family's going to be here. Some people just ain't going to leave. In some kind of way, we have to put some security in place before them. And I'm only talking about locally. I'm not talking about nationally because we are way outnumbered, outgunned, and so forth and so on. But we should not neglect the fact that we should try to put something in place politically, economically, educationally, spiritually, on and on and on and on. All front.
Can I make another point? Okay. So I said I disagreed with you earlier on because you were saying that, which is right, that we pay tax, and the money that is taken from us in tax, it's still our money. It's for us to say something, to do something, for that tax money to be spent for our benefit. Right. Now, I wanted to oppose that because I want to say that if you're going to organize this 1,500 people on the basis of money alone, once you get your representative or a number of representatives, because the whole organization is based on money, they can be taken out. So it seems this money you're going for, there's rich racists who just buy off your top people because that's all you're going for, money. So if money is the basis for your organization of this 1,500 people, that's not gonna hold. And also, secondly, land. If you think just buying land is going to be the basis for organizing 1,500 people, that's not going to work, because once you've got your land,
you misunderstand.
The laws will still be there. So what's the basis? How are you going to organize this 1,500 people?
Listen, in the inner city, the conversation starts around economics, is what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's obvious.
But the conversation starts around economics.
Yeah, that's what we're talking now.
But a wise leader understand that economic and power is most important for a community. Who controls the money and who controls the power of what happens for that district is the one that will thrive, and the people will thrive.
That's obvious. Hold on. Obvious.
So just because I said money, don't think that the money is the basis of the whole coming together. The money is the economics, is the conversation starter, because that's something we all have in common.
All right, what's the basis?
The basis is community and protecting our community and living and thriving, educating ourselves and becoming the people that we used to be that we forgot about.
Okay.
Have you thought about running yourself? Have you thought about running?
Oh my goodness, Private. You know how many people say that to me, Private?
Hey man, stand on the square, man. You got the idea.
No, hey, Private, what I'm saying is this, brother. I've considered it. You know, the thing is this, what I really want to do, Pirate, and I tell all of y'all here, after this COVID-19, I want to touch down and unite people on some grassroots missions to see if we can come together and do something on a local level and make it a success. A few business ventures, a few coalitions, and make it a success. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, in between time, we also building a community outside of the city. That's our motivation to build a community.
So who's excluded from your community?
Huh?
This community that you're talking about, which people are excluded from the community?
Well, the people.
I'm trying to get a vision of this community.
Well, my vision of the community is progressive people of African descent. Those are the ones that are welcome to the community. Progressive people of African descent. Period.
Right. So whether they're born in America or whether they've just arrived from Africa.
You have to be progressive. You just have to be progressive. And I'll say it like this. What I mean by progressive, you have to have some sort of spiritual grounding, some sort of religious foundation, some sort of skill to bring to the table. You have to bring something to the table. You know, we need, I always say this, don't even come asking what we got for you, because we ain't got nothing. We need to know what you're bringing. So we just need progressive people. That's it. Educated people.
So let me ask you this, right?
Educated.
I was thinking about the 1,500 people, right? And I was thinking to myself, man, if you were able to organize 1,500 people, they wouldn't even need to necessarily vote. You got 15, you were able to organize 1,500 people. You got one person can make the underwear, one person may grow corn, the next person grow spinach, the other person make shoes, the other person make this person know how to build. Now you got a plumber. And
why can't we use that same 15 for everything? Why do we got to stop at what you're talking about and not attack the other front?
It's like minuscule.
No.
on building the.
I just said we
Good point.
we cover all bases, but why do we neglect one thing and one thing supersedes the other? I'm saying that it's all inclusive.
Well, what I'm saying right now is, what I'm saying is that would be it. Like if I was building a community, that would be less.
No, because some people
that would be less.
No, let me tell you something.
See, what I'm trying to say is
it's all inclusive.
When you are in the process of organizing, see, when you're in the process of getting, you're recruiting for this 1,500 people. I'm not going to lead with, hey, brother, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to get everybody to vote in this one direction. I'm gonna say
the question was about voting.
No, I want to know where this brother and this sister's mind is. And to get them to be community focused.
Have we forgotten what
the
question was about?
With it, keeping your family together. Men, you need to go home to your children. Women, you need to love.
Brother Richie, can you re-ask the question? Because obviously we forgot the question. The question was about voting. The question wasn't about farming. The question wasn't about anything else.
But
I asked you. It was about voting. And so I gave my spill on voting.
No,
that was the question.
But okay.
Do you remember the question?
I'm saying that I know I asked
Listen,
you the question.
I remember the question.
Listen. I remember the question, but I assumed we was at a point where we was talking about the multifaceted ways we can solve the problem or attack it, besides just voting. Yeah, so that's where I thought that's where I was kind of listening to the conversation from at this point, because it is a
multifaceted, and I agree. But I'm saying let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater and forget all aspects of our endeavors here and on these shores. You can't throw out one. You got to attack from all angles. See, let me tell you something. European, he attacking from all angles. He's attacking from music. He's attacking from TV. He's attacking from politics. He's attacking from the bankers. He's attacking from literature. He's attacking from YouTube. He's attacking from all angles. So if you organize 1,500 people there, we're talking about voting, but those same 1,500 people can really put power into the hands of themselves by utilizing the skills that they have to bring to the table to make it a reality. But we just was talking about voting. That was the question.
No, we weren't. But we weren't just talking about voting. We were talking about voting. Brother, let me tell you why I said that. We were talking about voting, and then everyone else on the panel shared other ways of getting to the same point outside of using voting. I know I wasn't the only one. So
absolutely.
You can't say that it
was about voting. So I spoke on voting. That was the original question. That's why I spoke on voting. But don't put me in a box that a vote is the end all be all, because that's not what I'm saying. Don't put me in a voting box that's the end all be all. I only responded to the question from the voters, from the question of voting.
Okay, so we agreed then that to organize 1,500 Black people and to unify them in a most effective way, so that they can vote, the first thing is how to organize. So we've been discussing how to unify and organize 1,500 Black people. Then yes, maybe they can all vote at the end of it. But how do you effectively organize 1,000?
I make some nice ribs. I make a nice. I don't eat pork no more.
Hold on.
I think economics was the unity.
Hold on, and for me, I understand where the brothers coming from, because I think it's where you need to go into the communities. This is where locally voting might have a stand in it, where you actually because all this thing of economics and certain stuff, and then we don't have a community is not going to work. So
she broke up again.
Dang, sis, Spice, we can't hear you. I don't know
she
if
was
you
flowing for a second.
Yeah.
It's not on the basis different, and we hold on, and we are choosing who it is. You get me? To put them to the forefront. You understand what I'm saying? I think we're confused because it's like we want to be doing everything on the same basis as other people. Like IC3 said, this person. But at the end of the day, I think that the local thing can work because it's where, like, we're in our communities, is where we're going back to community and where we're organizing and unifying. You understand? Because if you bring any money or any type of operation in a where there's no community and no unity, then we have nothing. We already have that. So the brother is correct when we say we have illusions and pockets of belief of progression, because we do have that. You understand what I'm saying to you? So we need to, this is where I agree to some point, which I understand what Richie's saying, because it's locally it's still affected by the higher ups, but the idea of us actually going in the community to sort out ourselves makes more sense. And it's not a thing again where we are like a black person selling themselves to us. It's where we are, like, you know, looking and choosing the person by what the brother said, by what he can bring to the table. It's not a savior complex, because that's something that we have, like we're going to have a savior complex, or that person, one person being that mouthpiece for everyone. You understand? So where we have certain people that might be weaker links, where they might feel a certain way, but they're putting that person up for the slaughter kind of thing, is where we're actually in the community choosing, like, you know, the warriors, the people that we know that are not going to be swayed easily by the higher ups. We know that no matter what we do, they're going to attack us. But as the brother's saying, when we say abstain and this and thing, everyone's like, well, we can't do this, because they start talking about all the things of the world. But how can you say that when we haven't tried anything? And this whole voting process right now has not been beneficial to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I can understand where he's coming from when he's talking about locally voting, which just means going back into the community. You understand? Instead of going outside the community where we don't have a community and trying to, you understand what I'm saying?
So
that way,
yeah.
Hey, what's up, family?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I got a toothache, man, but I had to jump in, man. My brother Tarek Bay on.
Hey, bro, I'm mad at you. Hold up. Pause, Richie. Hey, bro, this better not be my guy, bro. Hey, bro, I'm upset with you, bro.
I got a root canal today, man. My tooth is hurting,
man.
I
don't want you to say nothing, bro. I've been coming on your platform. I lost your number, trying to reach out to you, bro. Are you ducking me?
No, hell no, man.
Hey, bro, I gotta come up to Philadelphia and look for you.
Nope. Hey,
I'm gonna have to dip, y'all. But hey, it was great talking to all of you. Thanks for having me on.
In a minute.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Hey, bro, I need your number, bro.
I got you. Hey, Tarek, and tell them, when I saw you at the Sinetta TV Awards, they was talking shit. I came down there starting trouble. I said, oh, it's my man.
Hey, bro, what people don't understand, right, is that we're just having a conversation and I get passionate and all that. But at the end of the day, it's people like us that's going to make the real change, because we're real passionate about our people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let me say this. In cities like where we come from, like Baltimore, Philadelphia, that's predominantly black, I tell people all the time, man, and what I learned from my dad, and we got to take control of the local areas that we live in.
That
these we supposed to control politics, city council, these wards. We supposed to control the mayor's office. We supposed to control the police commissioner, because we live in places that's predominantly black, and the only way you're going to do that is to be a part of the political process. We supposed to be in the real estate. We even supposed to control the underworld. All of that.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but he asked me a question about politics, and so I responded accordingly.
You know? And how you generate power in the capitalist system is, if we're moving together like that, it's not about the money, it's about the people moving together on one accord with one thought. It's power in the numbers. It's power in numbers. So now in the states, when you get, if we took control of local government in the places where we're predominantly black, we can begin to generate. The problem is we're separate. So I tell people all the time, no, you got to control your churches, your mosques, anywhere where it's black people predominantly. in these cities we don't control, and that's the problem. So now the reason why you got to get control of the politics because say again.
That's the problem. What's the solution?
The solution. See, this is the problem with black people. Listen to
I don't want to hear about the problem. What is the solution?
You asked the question. Now it's time to be quiet.
Okay.
The solution is in what I'm telling you. If you listen to what I'm saying, you know what the solution is. The solution is the only way we're going to do it is in the places where we're predominantly black. We have to take control of it. There is no other way to say it. Black people have to.
Yeah, but that's so obvious.
Hold on. The same way you go out and vote to a poll, we have to financially finance our own people.
Come on.
My God, man, this is like kid stuff, man. How do you organize the people effectively?
But this is the thing. You're not from the States, so I can't talk to you. I'm not from where you're from. I'm talking about where I'm from.
So when you say, George, when you say we need to take control over those places,
yes.
can you be a little bit more specific for people who don't have the control? The people who don't have control, and they want to gain control, but they don't know how to do it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make it very easy. Because this is the problem with black people, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. Black people know, for the most part, as long as we've been here, black people know what we supposed to do. I'm telling you, sister, our people are fucking lazy, and they want everybody to do it for them.
George,
Watch this.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Hold on. I don't want to get cut off. Let me say what I'm saying, because this is important. I want y'all to understand something. We get up and go to work in our blue collar and white collar jobs every day. We got black people that got know-how to fix the problem. Black people are comfortable being under white people. They don't want to do it on their own, because if they fail, they don't have nobody.
So how do you get them? That's my point. Like, I get that part. I understand that, and I agree. I detect no lies in anything that you said so far. How do you get, or should you get? Maybe that's a better question.
I know what you're saying.
Should we exert energy at taking this big Titanic ship and trying to steer it so that the people who are lazy in putting forth the effort can become less lazy and put forth the effort, or like, do we need to find new black people to work with? Or I don't know. I'm trying to.
I'll answer it this way.
Why not?
I'll answer it this way. This is the thing, sis. Even in the 60s movements, right? Even in the 60s movements, you still had the same lazy black people. The problem is the so-called woke black people. We're supposed to be moving together, creating the system for the people. Khalid Muhammad said, "I can't fix people, I can't feed." So now we got millions of woke people across America that's ready to move, but we're not moving. I don't expect the blue collar worker that works down at the sanitation department that don't understand what I'm talking about to do anything. But I expect all of us on here to be doing something, working together. And the problem is the people that talk all day, they're not doing it. The woke people ain't doing it. I don't expect some of our family members to do nothing. You know what they supposed to do? Get jobs, and we create it for them. Those of us that finally see what's going on, it's our job to create the matrix. See, the system that the white man created, everybody white ain't bosses. 90% of the white people are workers under the white people that decided to create something. So the ones that are woke got to do it, and we got to provide the opportunities for the ones that are asleep. And that's how they come under the system that we create. That's the problem.
Okay. So what is the best way
for
those that are awake to organize effectively? So out of the 1,500, then maybe you might say 30. What is the best way to organize the 30, unify the 30?
Why don't you bring your ideas to the table?
Right. Okay.
Because I say economics. I use the term money, but I say economics. You know what I mean? But bring your ideas to the table. But family, I'm gonna be listening in. I got another interview to do for my channel. I hope y'all tune into Moorish World TV. I actually am about to interview the organizer of Stone Mountain. You hear that, George?
Yeah, I'm gonna email you, so I'm gonna email you.
Yeah, I'm about to interview the organizer for Stone Mountain, for the militia that came there, where you think they just popped up when it was actually a professional organizer. So
Stone Mountain, Georgia is what you talking about? That area in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Somebody really Somebody organized it. It wasn't just a pop-up thing like people think. It was a professional organizer. And I'm about to, hey, have you been following that story, George, on my channel?
Hey man, listen, I got a live stream coming about Grandmaster Jay, and I'm explaining the Philadelphia move bomb in '85 and the shootouts. And I'm saying if he want to be a revolutionary, I'm come to Philly. I'll show him some real revolutionaries.
Let's talk about
some real ones.
I appreciate all y'all. I'm gonna be listening while I'm getting prepared. Appreciate you, Melanated Goddess.
Peace, brother.
George, Spice.
Peace, little to Harker Bay. Peace, little to Harker Bay.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
Big up family, big up family for coming on the air.
Indeed.
All right. free.
Hey Richie. Hey, Richie, real quick. Rick. Hey Rich, I gotta jump back off. My tooth is fucking pulsating, man. I just had to jump on real quick.
You better take that Percocet and stop playing Percocet. Molly,
I
took some ibuprofen, man, but this joint is hurting, man. I'm trying. No, ibuprofen ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know they gave you like at least 2 days worth. After that shit don't work, man. You sure?
I got some Aleve. The Aleve made it feel a little better. But this shit hurt bad, man. I don't know what the hell
get an ice pack. Put an ice pack on your you ice your jaw.
Yeah. All right. Do some ice. I just had to jump on for a minute and talk my shit, but I'm getting off because the louder and louder I talk, the more my tooth hurt. All right, George.
Feel better, George.
Big up for coming on. That's all.
Okay.
But I like IC3 energy today. Sometimes me and IC3 be arguing, but today I like his energy. You know, today he like, look, down the line.
Of course you do.
Down the line.
Of course you
do. He said we want some solutions, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, right. And sometimes I don't be talking too much because I hear what George is saying, that, you know, like we need to be the solutions. So I'm trying to get my shit together so I can be part of the solutions. You know, I think a lot of people are not in the positions where they, you know, like you got, like, whether it's your family or your kids, your employment, whatever, you got to get all that stuff situated so that you can focus on the community. And that's part of the trick, is that people, they keep you in this rat race of trying to survive. And then you don't get the chance to focus on your community.
Yeah, I
agree.
That's
where a lot of people. That's where a lot of people are.
That's true. Yeah. That's very true, Melanated. That's very, very
true. I think what you said, Melanated, was very powerful and very deep. But a lot of people didn't really. I felt they didn't really catch the weight of what you said, because I said, okay, how do we organize 1,500 people, 1,500 people? Then you said you were suggesting, look, you got to organize a community do, you know, maybe food, people come, a party kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then when the people are happy and they got together for the barbecue or whatever, then you get a speaker there who will let people know the purpose of the barbecue, because sometimes people say, "Oh, let's get together and have a party and party," you know, for no reason. But if you organize a party, and then you letting people know what the reason is, and then you have the speaker who will then set out, or a number of people that set out what the new initiative is. People. You know, because I can see from the other side, from the men are saying, "Look, let's just vote. You know, you got to get power. You got to vote." But I can see the feminine side where, look, you've got to think about the children. You know, get something to eat. You know, and be social. So it's a combination of the two. And another point you made that was very powerful.
You know what I'm saying? Like how just getting them to organize.
Yeah.
So when I look at the communities that get the numbers, They always have some sort of, they go from the family first, they get the kids wanting to come, then the kids bring their
Yeah,
parents because they can't come without their parents, and then they
that's
come
right.
and then they put some kind of thing where you got to be involved, or we need you to volunteer, and da da da
Yes,
da.
that's
Oh,
right.
great.
Yeah,
If you want your child to come get this thing that's free, well then we need you to do one day. Next thing you know, they
that's
part of the
right.
community.
Yeah, I agree
Yes,
with that. I think we need
And
more
yes,
it's
events and stuff to put on, like to bring people together. Like, you
listen,
understand?
I'm
yes,
telling
but with a
you,
purpose.
when it came to
Yeah, but with
church,
a
the men
but
of
with
my
a
family was
purpose.
moving the furniture in the church. They was building stuff in the church. They was doing the stuff. Them men ain't start off knowing nothing about no Jesus. But guess what? The women came, and then the women came because the church was giving away food, or the church was doing. Oh, Lord, my crazy dog. Where's my phone? I got the phone here. I'm crazy. Sorry, y'all.
I agree, but it has to be with a purpose. You understand what I'm saying? It can't be
Yeah,
on some party and bullshit. It has to be with an initiative, and it has to affect people like on an individual basis, because like Mendeley said, people are in a rat race, you understand, and you have to be able
yeah,
to, whether we like it or not, you have to be able to make people see what the initiative is and how it affects them on a one-to-one basis. You understand what I'm saying? Because like
correct.
you said, there's many people that want to, like, you know, be on board, but obviously because they're stuck in whatever situation, because I don't know what situation you're in, and it's real to them, you understand, and
Yeah,
you can't like ignore that, you understand. But why it has to be with a purpose. But the reason why I'm saying local voting, which I don't like 100%, I think it just means what you're saying is just going back into the community, like doing events, you know, galvanizing, organizing, bringing back the community together, where we can, you know, differentiate between who is really about this, and then we can build from there, where we're making like opportunities for people, because we all know that there isn't going to be people that's going to be about it. But like Jules said, we've got to make, you know, things for them to stay in their position, because we can all say, oh, go back to Africa, or money is economics. But at the end of the day, the reality is not everybody's going to be on that, innit? Everyone
that's
is going
right.
to play their position regardless. Yeah, and everyone's situation is
Yeah,
real to them. So I think what I get gathered from what he's saying about locally is just what we should be doing is just going back to community, going inside the community, where we are controlling our communities. You understand? Because I think
yeah,
when you look at Jewish and Indians, that's exactly what they're doing. So even though they're within this pocket of this system, they're still striving, because, you know, they're galvanizing their own community. You understand? And that's their
yeah,
priority, is community first. You understand what I'm saying to you? So that's what I get from what everyone's saying. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I agree with
I'll
what you're
agree.
saying, but it has to be
And
like where we it's local, you understand, because you can't do nothing as on a mainstream when it doesn't, half the mainstream stuff don't even trickle down halfway to us, you understand. So
correct.
this is why we're at a fault, where we're putting up our hands like, hold on, what about us? You understand what happened to us, because it doesn't actually affect us. But when we're doing things locally, you have to know that, you understand, it's for the people, by the people, grassroots, boots on the ground. This is what we're going to do. And you understand what I'm saying to you? And we got to know that and be aware that everyone's not going to be on the same thing. And that's cool. But at the end of the day, if we take the initiative to build something for those people, you understand? Because we can't just be like, everyone's going to go Africa and leave your people, because you're still doing yourself. You understand? We're still
They're
doing ourselves.
running to
Yeah,
Africa.
we're still doing
And they're
no, but
running to Africa, and
and
they're
we're
not.
still doing.
When I say running to Africa, they just think, "Oh, I can't make it here. I'm going to run to Africa." But
No,
if
watch him
if
out,
you're
watch him
a
out, watch
failure
him
here,
out, watch him out. Listen. You
Yeah.
can't tell somebody they running home. You crazy. Wait, you supposed to run home.
Right
What do you
home.
think I
That's
want?
right.
no, no, no,
No,
no, no,
your
no, no.
your
You got to be
No,
wording,
careful.
Tell
your
them.
wording, your
no,
wording
No,
is off.
no. Listen here.
No,
Listen
that's
here.
right.
Listen here.
Go ahead,
I'm a
Mendeley.
descendant of a kidnapped victim, and you're not gonna tell me that that's not my home. It may not be your home. I get it. You feel like you're Caribbean.
That's
right? I get it, IC3. I see right through you. I get it. You're not African, you're Caribbean.
Right. Tell it what it is.
But guess what? If my grandmother could tell me, Ono better do this and Ono better do that, and for me to know that Ono is a Ghanaian word, well, guess what? I know that I am Caribbean by way of Africa. Okay?
Right.
Because where she learned Ono from? Where she learned Ono from? How she just gonna learn some Ghanaian words just out of her mind, just coming? She's speaking an African language. Come on now. If you don't want to accept it, hey, I can't force you to. You know, they sold you into slavery. They bad people. I get it. Hey, look, I got over that shit because guess what? Everybody was getting fucking sold. But if it's stuff over there, it's goodness over there, it's black people over there, I'm trying to go. That's how I feel. I'm trying to go because the way they treating this 13% over here. Oh no.
But if we're really for the people, I hear what you're saying in this respect. If we're really for the people, it can't be a thing where we're just thinking, oh, we're gonna pick up and just go to Africa and then leave. You understand? People need to be able to strive while they're here, innit? You understand what I'm saying too? Because we are aware that everybody is not going.
You have to.
Yeah, everyone's not going back to Africa.
Here. Some people just need to make the decision to stay here and face the music as to whatever that means. If you want to stay, people's got to start being realistic about what's going on, innit? Because again, if you want to stay in it, but don't be unrealistic with the prospect really what you're putting yourself through. This is what I'm saying. Like, understand that's where the illusion of inclusion will come right back around to bite you on your ass. Because when you are included, it's going to be in a way that you don't really want. And unless you have the connection with a greater source of people resources than what's here and what's established, then you're forever going to be chasing your tail. And as I keep telling people, everything in your society right now, in this Western society, whether you're in America or England or Europe, is running off of the wealth and resources that's coming out of Africa. So I don't give a shit whether you don't want to go there, or whether you don't respect Africa. But if you don't understand the way the mechanism works and the way the white man himself has got power, then don't talk about voting on any level. I'm not interested. It's not going to work. It's already set up to not work. So that's why, again, you have to appeal to a greater base of people. And if you can't do it with the 200 million per se in America, and South America, then you need to move further out, where there's certain aspects of the culture that will help you to galvanize people a lot easier. Because as we've already talked about today in this show, there's multiple ways they're attacking us, and there's multiple ways that we have to be fixing and plugging gaps. From economics, cultural practices, our relationships with each other, how we pick our black leaders, all sorts of angles. How we raise our kids, the black family, there's all sorts. And they have to all be
black family first.
And we have to be realistic about that as well, because I think we this illusion's got everyone in a bubble that like you're trying to romanticize the reality of what's actually going on an individual basis, which is not working for us either. So Richie's right, you need to be real about the situation, otherwise you're going to have to move out and to galvanize with people that actually is like-minded, whether you like it or not, because right now all of this is not working. So we need to be real about the situation. I think most black people are not real about what's actually going on in front of them. Like, they want to get out clause or cop out, you understand, and that's not working.
Can I share something with y'all? Sometimes I try to think about how to unite with lost people, right? Or what we would call lost or not. You know what I'm saying? I try to think about how to unite with them, because it's way more of them than it is of us, right? And I can't
Hold
just
on,
start the
Mele.
conversation.
Hold on. And I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing that people are not being real about. There's more of them than us. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This whole thing,
Yeah,
don't
like
get this
I can't start conversations talking about
woke conversation like it's less.
they God and oh yeah, why you go to church? I can't start no conversation and try to get some unity, and all I'm doing is, oh, my conscious way of
Antagonize.
life is way better than yours. Right? You know,
Yeah.
what you need to do is you need to burn you some sage and get you some crystals, girl. You know what I'm saying? Bump that Jesus. Like, okay, yeah, that's really not how we're gonna build this black community. You know, I mean, it would be nice, right? Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say it would be nice if it was that easy, but maybe if I hung out with my little Christian friend, right? And then over time, she asked me about, hey, why do you do that? Or why do you wear that? Or whatever.
Yeah, that's the
And,
way.
you
Yeah.
know,
And
there
explain.
was there was some changes that she was able to integrate into her life. But at the end of the day, whether she's quote unquote conscious or she's Christian or she's Muslim, if she's loving on a black man, if she's raising some black children and they building their little black family and they black family is part of a larger black community, I personally, melanated goddess, I don't give a shit. I really don't. I really don't
But
care if she
I
prays once a day, 5 times a day. If she got an altar at the house, if she worships at Orisha. I don't care.
I hear what you're saying, but I disagree, because being part of a black family, having a black family, is also not the be and end all. What you just said is Jules, because we have to come to the realization that there's more of them than us, and also we need to come to realization that this is a lower paradigm, so there's always going to be lost people. So it's not a thing where we have to actually by force trying to be going out to try and pick up or hold on or save people, because that's not a reality. These are the things that black people don't like to romanticize. Like, you need to understand that there is more lost people than there is woke people, or whatever you call it, and understanding that what it means to be conscious, which is just aware of certain things, which most people are, but because people actually choose which and what they want to partake in, and that's a reality. So what you said is Jules, because this is something that we really need to get to grips with, because that's a reality. You understand? There's more of them than us. So at the end of the day, I don't believe that just because you're a black family, you understand? Because you can do that all day and not have any kind of reverence for
no, what I'm
your
saying is that, like,
your
I
blackness.
wouldn't. No, what I'm saying is that, but you definitely do need family. Like, families make up a community, right? That's part of what makes a community. So that's an integral, vital part, right? So what I'm saying is that who their God is doesn't have to be the thing to divide us. The very fact that they view themselves as my brother IC3 calls, if they view themselves as IC3, if they view themselves of African descent, if they want to call themselves black, they want to call themselves Negro, they want to call themselves Moors, they want to call themselves Hebrews and a part of the 12 tribes. As long as they are cool with the rest of us, that's the unifying part, not what religion you are, not if you are heterosexual or homosexual.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we start shunning homosexuals, and I know people are going to be like, what the hell is Melanie God saying? I'm not saying I'm pro for homosexuality. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
but the reality is that's millions of people.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm saying if numbers count. The reality is numbers count, right? So That's people, uncles, aunties, cousins, brothers, and sisters. That's the reality of it. They're black
Can
people.
I say this? Can I say
I'm
this?
gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. I'm sorry.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap up the show in a minute here. So everybody say your
last point.
Go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, the last point is that I disagree. I don't think it's about numbers. Sounds very strange. There's always a battle, the argue between quality and quantity. But I don't believe. I believe if you have the quality, you get the power. It's the quality that holds the power, not the numbers. So people, a small number of people, tightly organized, they can do what they need to do. They move how they need to move. But if you've got a whole load of people and they're badly organized, it's just chaos. They can't hold power. They're just like a mob. So don't worry about numbers, because the rich, there's only a few of them, and the manager, there's only a few of them.
No,
it's
that's
always
true. That's
quality.
True. I guess I'm looking at it from a point where a lot of times in the black community, and I'm doing quotation marks, y'all can't see me. People. There's. I'm not even just gonna say just that one group, like homosexuals. There's other people that get bunned out because they're not accepted, right? We even say mixed race people, right? Or things like that. They're not accepted or embraced into our community, but people come home from selling drugs and polluting their community, and they get a party thrown for them. See what I'm saying? I just think that a lot of times our priorities and who we deem as people, like you're saying, the valuable people, someone who is an engineer, someone who knows how to build roads or whatever. I don't care who they sleep with, whatever. They are a valuable person that could be part of our community. They can help build it, especially if nobody else is stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, man.
That's what these other countries got Chinese people doing it because nobody's stepping to the plate. That's the reality of it, right? So,
yeah, I hear that.
I just think that we got some difficult things to think about.
It sounds good, but some of these people, like i.e. religion and a homosexual thing, these are things that go against the principle of black people. So whether they might have a idea of they feel like they could be for something, it's still going to be with confliction. You understand? I think we just need to focus on like-minded people. I'm not really bothered by other people like that have certain other things, but I think it's more about like-minded people, and I think it's about more quality than quantity, because if you have black people that have black families that have this nigger behavior and doing everything that goes against what we think, then what is the purpose of them? You understand? What, just for numbers? You understand? We have that already. So I think we just need like-minded people.
But that's what I was saying. I was saying, what if they don't have it, but they have a religion, or they have an identity issue, or they have or one of their parents are white or something like that. I'm just saying, but they exemplify the values of the community that you're attempting to build, and they have skills and can be an asset. That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying anybody, just for the sake of having a mass of people. What I'm saying is that I feel like we exclude people, like not based off of if they have values, if they have assets and so forth. And then we include people just because they black. So some other people, they get a pass regardless of their values, regardless of those people get a pass. And what I'm saying is that I see that that's not right.
Yeah, I hear that.
Sense now?
Yeah, I hear that. But you still have to understand that these things.
Oh Lord, you breaking up, sis.
Are still, you understand, because confliction and confusion, regardless. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I hear what you're saying because I agree with that. There's some people that are just being, but ain't that the same thing? Because it's just like, you know, or we just want numbers. So is anybody thing? At the end of the day, I think that all these other.
What I'm saying is that if you got
have a good night, all. It's been a good conversation. I got to go now.
Big
up,
great. Big up, IC
Take care. Till next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
what I'm saying
is this out as well. Once
okay.
she's not finished comments, now go finish off Melanega this.
I was gonna say, like, if you were trying to unify, right, and like gather the people together, and you came across a woman who, you know, she identified as mixed race. She wasn't one of those people that said, "Oh, I'm black." She said, you know, she recognized, okay, I have white ancestry too, and I don't ignore it. Do we just tell her, like, all right, beat it? Meanwhile, she's a school teacher, or she's a doctor, or, you know, she does. If you get in conversation with her, you can see that she recognizes that, you know, black people are, you know, disproportionately targeted, or she can see the areas of some systemic racism. And like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, that person shouldn't just be excluded because they have a white parent. Or if that same person who was all, you know, black power, or yeah, oh, we need to support black businesses, we need to da 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 da, but they had a same-sex partner. Meanwhile, Ray, you know, don't even see his kids, or Boom Shika, she's on YouTube and Instagram, she's twerking and stuff, and everyone's like, oh, that's a god and that's a goddess, and they part of our community. And I'm just like, whoa, like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that part of upholding niggerish behavior, but I still believe that these people are the people that you're talking about. In hindsight, in reality, they are very minute, mainly. They are small pocket of people within these division-based kind of, you know, things that are in it throughout history that have shown that they are breed confliction and confusion. They are very minute, and at the end of the day, it sounds good, but I just think that it's not going to work because most of these things go against our core principles of race first, and what we're trying to do, and it's been proven that it's been a problem for us regardless. And then again, you have to realize, I hear what you're saying, but that's a very minute level, a very, very small amount of people, opposed to, you know, all the, you know, the confliction and confusion that comes with that. So I hear what you're saying, but for me, I don't think it's going to work in it. For me, I don't think I'm not trying to take on that, but yeah.
Well, Richie's staying out of it. I see he being smart. He's staying out of it.
I'm enjoying listening to you go back and forth and talk about it. Allowing Spice to say what she's got to say because her mic's been mashing up. But you know, big up to everyone anyway who came in, supported the show, come on the panel, said what they had to say. Big up to all my American brothers and sisters who participated today and who gave us their opinions on what's going on back home. Big up to my English people, them who join us. Spice for always coming on and got something to say. You get me? On the show, real life. You get me? It don't matter. No school. There's it's on tomorrow. We got Professor Leonard Jeffries coming on with the director of a new documentary. Yeah, that's gonna be a nice tidy show. So people come check that out. Me and Riggsy should be on that. And Thursday will be Total Exposure with the ladies and music and artists and the usual. So come check that out as well. To all the people I haven't seen before who's coming in for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get them alerts, but definitely come back next Tuesday because every Tuesday we do this open panel conversation where we're talking about different things. As I said, I might do a relationship conversation about.
Oh Lord, somebody put in the chat. Did you see somebody put in the chat? What about black men with white women? Oh Lord. We said mixed race people. Now you're going too far. You're gone too far.
It can't work. But if people want to do that conversation, I don't mind. We can do that. You know, can people with mixed race relationships, still be in the community? Should they still be considered pro-black? If you want to do them conversations,
you know what I'm saying? Let's get it, Richie.
We really can. That's it. We really can. What we would like is no holds bars. As I said, I invite people to come on every week and voice their opinions. So look out for next week's conversation. And remember, obviously, as you've seen, we start off on a subject matter, but then we go all over the place and, try to bring it back around in a full circle. So definitely come.
He said, you said the gays and the mixed race is good. I said black people is good. If you're gay, you're still black.
Yeah,
you gonna tell me something? You still black,
but you can't be black.
I'm with you, but the thing is, the people that are gay are gonna think that the way they're being propagated and they're putting out there is if the gay comes.
It gotta be a certain type of gay. See what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. It's still a community, so everybody's not gonna want to join a community, right? There's not even gonna be all black people that want to be part of that community.
You're gonna need to join. No, but listen, the point of the community is to gain benefits, food, clothing, shelter, and these kind of benefits. So by default, people are going to want to join because they want those benefits. So this is where you're going to get people either pretending, carrying on.
Get benefits and then give it to a white woman. Why do white women need clothes and she have white privilege? See what I'm saying? The gay black person
but if she's married,
black.
But this is the thing: if she's married to a black person, you best of both worlds? Then you got your white privilege.
He can get all the
and you can roll.
He can come and pick up the free food. He can pick up the free food, or she can pick up the free food. Whoever's the black person. I don't want to say it's
How
a black
about
man.
They don't get any free food? How about they don't get no free food because he's got a white.
I ain't gonna lie. That's might be my nurturing energy. So I would let the generals who's in charge make those type of rules. Yeah. And if they want to draw that line and be like, nah, you ain't getting no food.
Again,
you black queen ain't getting no food.
No, again, these people are a small facet of people, and it's not really a real reality because, like Richie said, these people, they have their own agendas and it seems to come first. Just like religion, it's like religion before being black, and that's not working for us. It's gay being before black, and that's not working for us. So even if there is these type of people, they're really, they're minute. Like, so for me, it doesn't really even count. Yeah. So it doesn't really count. You understand? But,
too many people trying to co-opt black movements. It's not the way forward. We definitely need like-minded people. We definitely need a code of ethics that everybody needs to follow. Whether or not we include people who are half caste, whether or not, you include whoever else you want to mention, are they going to follow the code, or are they following a greater code that they are showing you with their life choices? That's the bigger question. But for now, people, big up for joining us. It's been enjoyable this evening, I have to say. I will speak to you soon. As I said, come join us tomorrow for the Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Kush Productions, director of Happy, the documentary, I believe. I think that's the name of it. But yeah, anyway, come check that out. Black Eyes TV. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Like, share, and subscribe. You know the way. That's it. And donate. Walk on. The link's there.
Yes, donate and make sure y'all donate for the Dr. Layla Africa. Go ahead, Richie. I don't know how to say
Youth Exchange.
The Youth Exchange
program.
So the Youth Exchange program, so the young men can have a right
Dr. Layla Africa.
Yeah, they're going to the Congo.
That's right. That's right.
And they have a rites of passage ceremony, and we want to be able to sponsor as many young boys to be able to go as possible. So there is a GoFundMe, and you can donate. You know, if you got $10, $15, $20, whatever, you know, whatever comes on your heart to donate, just think of it like you're sponsoring somebody or helping to sponsor somebody to be able to go to Congo.
No doubt. And multiple other places as well.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely go support that. Look out for the back vid. Look out for future chats. It's all going down. But big up to everybody that joined us. I'm out. Peace to you, sisters. Peace to myself. And peace to the chat room.